have 6 interrelated pillars in the report, ranging from education, but also to build community confidence in politicians. Currently, as it stands, the community doesn't have a lot of trust and faith, not only because of the sharp rise in Islamophobia, but also a failure to adopt a definition by the government. So this is crucial. We also need better data collection to fully capture the breadth of Islamophobia that we're seeing here today, and educational exercises and workshops starting from a young age so we can educate folks what it means to be Islamophobic and to prevent it in the first place.
So here is a few statistics that can come out of our report, in addition to that it's 600% increase since October the 7th. So as we've said, the victims of the highest proportion of religiously motivated hate crime in England and Wales since 2017-18, according to the Home Office figures, have been from Muslim communities. Islamophobic hate crime has risen every year since the last, accounting for 42% of recorded religious hate crimes. Last year, with notable surges coinciding with terror incidents and global conflicts.
People need to understand the difference between Islamophobia and the difference between people when they hate you for who you are because you've shown leadership. I can give you an example where I became the leader, or when I was running to become the leader of Kensington and Chelsea Labour Group of councillors, I was specifically targeted for being a Muslim. And people was on Twitter, on social media, and other parts of media to say, oh, he's an Islamist, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's against you name it. Basically fabricated lies. And I think it's important for people to understand, if you are a Muslim, if you believe in that Allah will support you and you take the right decisions, and not because of yourself, but for the sake of the community, for the sake of Allah, and ultimately remember, and everyone should remember, that we're here to worship Allah, the Almighty God. And because of that, people understand everything else is just a bonus. Getting positions in life, leader or whatever it is, MP, parliament, king, is just added bonus. But what we really understand, once you're a Muslim and you pray, you do what's right to do so, you have the chance to go to Umrah, Hajj, and be a Muslim, and be kind to a Muslim. As we said, to really, the best thing that Muslims could do that Allah loves is to help other people.
I think there's quite a few organisations at the moment who are working on ensuring that workplaces do have really robust, transparent reporting mechanisms for issues of racism, Islamophobia, any form of discrimination or hate, and also sexual harassment and things like that. It's so important for employees, especially Muslim employees, to know that actually if I'm going to report my colleague or report a member of management for an Islamophobic comment or Islamophobic behaviour towards me, that actually the organisation is going to take it really seriously. And when we're saying that it needs to be robust and transparent, it means that everybody in the organisation needs to know that it exists, everybody in the organisation needs to know what the steps are, and everybody in the organisation needs to know that actually if an accusation has been made and someone steps forward to report something, that actually the organisation is going to see it to the nth degree. It's going to see it to the end, it's going to see it to its resolution, and actually everybody should be pleased with the recommendations of whatever investigation is going to take place. But it is also a good first step in organisations ensuring that they take a zero tolerance approach to tackling Islamophobia and other forms of discrimination and hatred in the workplace. And the robust reporting mechanism is just one way to do that, but it's incredibly important, and I'm so glad to see that it was very strongly highlighted within the report.
Some Muslims not necessarily have the courage to report these events. So is there anything to encourage them to come forward and report what happened to them in terms of Islamophobic comments, for example?
Yeah, oh gosh, that's a really good question. And yes, it does take a lot of courage to be able to step forward and make reports, especially if they are around any type of harassment within the workplace. And I would say that one of the first things that Muslims can do in the workplace is establish within their organisation some kind of Muslim network. I know in organisations that I've worked in, I've been part of establishing BAME networks where everybody can come together. But the reason for establishing those groups is to create a level of solidarity, so that actually if you are a bit worried about going to management to report something, actually your first port of call could be your BAME group or could be your Muslim network within the organisation, who can then give you the support to step forward and support you in making that report. And that's why it's really important that the any type of action plan, anti-racism or anti-Islamophobia action plan that an organisation takes on, and any type of a reporting mechanism that they commit to or create, it needs to be, that's why it needs to be transparent and needs to be robust, because also we're not encouraging people to go forward and make these reports if they know it's not going to lead to anything, or if they know they're going to be further persecuted. So that's the importance of the transparency behind, why we say it needs to be transparent, and it has to have the trust of the organisation, but particularly those in minoritized groups, so those who are Muslims, those who are black, those who are Asians, etc., etc., etc.